I hope we never have an incident on this campus. I've had people say to me, we're never going to have something happen here. And my response is, you're right, we're not, until we do. And when we do, we need to be ready for it. You need to be prepared. And if you don't prepare ahead of time, well, then you're preparing to fail. So run, hide, fight's a very simple concept. People think there's so much more to it. The police department uses run, hide, fight. Militaries use run, hide, fight. You run to safety, you hide, you get cover, and when you're able to fight, you fight. That's when you're on the offensive. When there's an active shooter or someone in our campus that's looking to do harm to us, run, hide, fight takes on a similar but very different look. It's literally a game of hide and seek, but you're playing hide and seek for your life. It's a deadly game of hide and seek. If we have someone come to our campus and they're looking to do harm to anyone on our campus, yourself, your neighbors, the first thing we expect you to do is run. Run anywhere you can away from where the threat is. If you can't run, your next option is to hide, but it's not just to hide. It's to hide and start thinking about what are you going to do if this person finds you. Deadliest game of hide and seek you're ever going to have to play. You have to have that mindset if that person does find you. I am going to fight. And I've had people say, well, how do you fight? What's a fair fight? When someone comes onto our campus and we are unarmed on this campus and they come here armed, they've initiated an unfair fight, and I'm giving you permission to fight unfairly. You need to use as much force necessary as it is to stop that person from harming you or anyone else. So you're going to have to start changing the way you think, and most students and most of the staff here, you guys go to school to save lives. It's absolutely contradictory to what you're hearing. It'll be very different from what they're doing. If we have somebody on campus that's here to harm people, they will always be thought of as a murderer. You stop that person, you will always be thought of as a hero. There's nothing wrong with stopping that person in any means possible. On this campus, we have, on any campus, you have broomsticks, you have bleach, you have chairs, you have things to throw at people. We have all sorts of medical devices here. Get as creative as you can. Do not think that your fine motor skills are going to kick in. That's not the way you need to think. You need to start thinking that basic raw survival, throw a chair at somebody and continue to throw chairs. Team up with whoever it is you're hiding with. If there's 5 of you that are hiding and you know 2 of them absolutely cannot do anything, those are the ones that are going to be on the phone communicating, and the rest of you are coming up with a plan on what you're going to do to stop this person. That makes sense to everybody? For those of you that are in offices, I've walked around, I've spoken to a few people, and one of the questions that comes up is, do I keep my door locked? Yeah, absolutely. You keep your door locked. If you want to keep it open, that's fine, but locking your door ahead of time, every single day, is one less thing that you have to think about in the event that something's happening. You hear gunshots down the hall, and maybe the first time you've ever heard gunshots, you are not going to be able to find your key to lock the door or push the button on the back of the door. You're going to go into panic mode. Better that you just slam that door closed. When you read the studies, they're not there to kick doors in. They are there to take as many victims and get as quick a body count as possible. They are going to go right past your door, and simply by locking your door, you're going to end up saving yourself. I can guarantee you that. When you're in your offices, in your classrooms, when you're walking around campus, I want you to start thinking a little bit differently and thinking along the lines of, what am I going to do in the event something bad happens? Every single day I do it. On my ride to work, while I'm here, while I'm home, what is my plan? I would go on vacation with my family and I would tell my kids, if something happens, this is what I'm doing. And they would know what I was going to do. When you're in your classrooms, know where your exits are. We have a bunch here. Most people will run out of the same door that they ran into. It's not what you should be doing. You should be going away from the threat. And if it happens to be the way you came in, know your other exits. Know where you can hide. You're not going to find it when you're hearing gunshots down the hall. You're going to find it 3 months ahead of time while you're sitting in class and you're looking around finding, where would I hide if something happens? In the event somebody ever gets into our building, your responsibility, if you hear something, if you get a message, gunshots, shots fired, I don't want to say where, I don't want to jinx anything, shots fired at such a place on campus, and you're near there, your responsibility is to gather people up. I just heard shots fired, let's get out of the building, or let's go hide somewhere. You want to go in the opposite direction of where that threat is coming from. You want to alert your coworkers. Your first thing you do is you run. No one asked you to be a hero when you came here. It's our job to try and round everybody up. The men and women that work for me don't carry weapons. They don't have bulletproof vests on. It's not their job to get shot either, but it's their job to direct you on where to go. It's their job to gather information and transmit that, communicate that information wherever that threat is coming from to first responders that are coming. First responders, when they show up on campus, and I was a first responder, I was a SWAT guy, I was the first guy to show up. We're not there to save you specifically. We're there to stop the threat first. It's your job to save yourself, and that's why these talks to me are so important. It's your job to know as you walk around campus today, tomorrow, every day after this minute, what am I going to do in the event of an emergency? You have to have a plan beforehand. As you sit in your office, where am I going to hide? As you go home tonight, what can I bring to work in my office that's not so obvious or offensive that if somebody comes in, that I can use that to protect myself? So first thing you're going to do is run. You're going to run away from the threat. You're going to bring people with you. You're going to run into your office if that's the only place that you can go. And once you're done running, you're going to hide. And it really isn't run, hide, fight. It's run, hide, and get ready to fight. So the hide part, and I've gone around campus, I've helped a couple of different departments look at their office, maybe restructure some furniture, and find some good hiding spots. If you need that, please call the public safety. One of the officers can come down. I can come down there and show you guys where it is that you can hide in your office. These things only last between 4 and 8 minutes. They want to get through buildings as quickly as possible. So locking your door, that one measure, is a great step in keeping yourself safe. One of the departments I was speaking with, one office was great to hide in, one office was not so much, and one of the employees was like, haha, I have a better office than you. No, you both have the same office. Don't feel like you're locked into your office. You can run across the hallway and hide with a friend. There's strength in numbers, and that's what you want to do. You want to hide with someone. You want to talk about this stuff when you leave today. Where are we going to hide? I want you all to start planning to succeed, planning to survive, not just for yourself, for your family, for your coworkers, for your friends. So hide, you want to make sure you hide in a place that provides you cover. So there are two terms when it comes to firearms. There's cover and there's concealment. Concealment, I use the example when you're a little kid, you hear that bump in the night and you pull the blankets over your head and you think you're protected. You're not really protected, you're concealed. You're hidden from what you think is coming. If they don't see you and they don't find you, you're protected. Cover, on the other hand, would be something that can stop a bullet or stop a round. A masonry wall, a steel girder, and cover gives you concealment, but it also protects you from harm. Cover is what you want to look for in your office. So if you have 4 walls in your office and 2 of them happen to be cinder block, you may say, I have an ugly office. You have a very well-protected office is how you need to look at it. Sheetrock, a round will go right through a sheetrock. And if someone's coming in to do harm, they're going to be spraying bullets, and God forbid, a bullet gets through that wall you're hiding behind. Cover, concealment, that makes sense to everybody? So we did run, we did hide. As you are hiding, you're thinking about what the heck am I going to do if somebody gets into this office, into this lab, into this classroom. That's where the fight kicks in. You're not trying to subdue this person as peacefully as possible. You are trying to stop them entirely. They're going to be carrying a weapon. You're going to have to start figuring out in that room, what can I use as a weapon? So I referenced a little bit earlier, when you go home, what can you bring in that's not so offensive that you can keep in your office? My daughter played softball. Maybe I bring a bat in with me. Maybe I know this is the corner I'm going to hide in. This is where her bat is going to stay. And if somebody comes in, I am going to wait and I'm going to wind up and I'm going to swing like I'm Aaron Judge and I'm going to try and knock this person down. You're not there to try and gently take somebody down that's looking to kill you. If you want to watch a video on Run, Hide, Fight, on our campus resource page, there is a video. It's very basic. You've probably all seen Run, Hide, Fight videos before. I am hoping after we do this training, we eventually evolve into actually doing some sort of a run, hide, fight, active shooter scenario on campus. And the reason I hope that we do it, so my niece Melanie, and I've taught this, like I said, for the last 15 years. I would talk about it, you know, parties, people always have questions. And my niece Melanie, since she's a little girl, would say, Uncle Rob, I have the perfect plan. My plan is I'm going to run into the bathroom. I'm going to hide in the bathtub. I'm going to cut a hole in the window, climb out onto the deck, and escape. She's like, and I'm going to run and just keep on running. And I said, Mel, that is a fantastic plan. I love it. Wouldn't you know, a couple of months later, I get a phone call from her dad. Hey, Rob, Melanie's in a panic. Someone's at the house. She can't figure out what's going on. I scoot over there. Sure enough, parked in front of the house, there's a gutter truck, you know, gutters for the side of the house. So he had forgotten, he called them to do some work. But the point is, Melanie greets me at the door with a chuckle. And I said, you're okay? And she's like, I'm good. So what happened to your plan? She's like, yeah, I never made it to the bathroom. I didn't cut the screen. I didn't do anything. And I said, you know why you didn't do any of that? Because you never practiced it. So I can sit here and tell you all what to do. I can explain it to you. You can drive back and forth every day thinking about what you're going to do. But until you actually physically go through the motion of hiding in your office or slamming your door or getting on the phone, you may do it, but you may not do it as precisely or as well as you imagine you were going to do it. So I hope we evolve into actually doing something on campus, an active shooter scenario where we involve law enforcement, but give you the opportunity, as silly as it may sound, to get into a lockdown. And if you ever witnessed a lockdown, it is eerie quiet if people participate the right way. And it really works. We've role played. I've been the bad guy, and when the doors are locked and everyone is quiet, you begin to panic a little bit, like, where the heck is everybody and who's going to hurt me? The run, hide, fight works if you practice it, if you believe in it.